All right, guys, welcome back to Legal Licks Lounge. I feel like I literally have not seen you in 30 years, so we have a lot to catch up on. I am the host, Maya McCole, joined today by Mr. Legal Licks, the guy who wins 100 million, thousand, billion, $1 trillion every day. Dallas, how are you?
Doing wonderful, wonderful. Great day yesterday. Great day yesterday.
I'm sure we're going to hear all about that in your KD rant, your monologue that's coming up. Coach P, how are you doing today?
I'm blessed, Maya. How about yourself?
I'm good, thank you. So, to start, we can do a quick recap from yesterday's game. I don't know who feels most passionate. I feel like Coach P, you're an advocate. KD, skill person. Dallas is going to talk about how much money KD made him. Whoever is feeling the most passionate, you can start with this recap.
Yeah, I gotta pass it on to Dallas. This is his man, so I'm gonna let him have it.
Dallas.
I mean, so this is what happened yesterday. I bet $10,000 on the Nets.
Okay.
I told everybody the dude is the best player in the goddamn world, the best player on the planet, best player to ever touch a basketball, and he did nothing short of show me that I was correct. It made me look like I was a fortune teller or something. It was unstoppable, unconscious in all aspects of the game. Showed his unselfishness. He put this team on his back. He had a crippled James Harden out there. I could have been out there playing the same role as James Harden, how bad Harden looked. Harden was throwing the ball out of bounds. KD played point guard. KD rebounded. KD played center. KD blocked shots. KD shot threes. KD shot mid-range shots. KD attacked the rim. The Milwaukee Bucks are seeing, they close their eyes, they seeing Kevin Durant in their nightmares, the Slim Reaper. So, I mean, this is just poetry in motion. The dude is the best player on the planet, the baddest man on the planet. He can't be stopped. And he's just a real humble guy. And he just take the game as it comes. And, I mean, that was just amazing. I lost my voice last night messing with Kevin Durant.
I saw your Instagram story. You were screaming like, ah! I was like, oh, that's passion. Coach P, how do you feel about yesterday's game and KD's talents?
Man, KD is the man. I cannot argue what Dallas is putting forth. In fact, you know what, Dallas? You know what he reminded me of? He had a Chris Paul type of game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm messing with Dallas because we haven't been on. Like every time Chris Paul do something, he go on vacation, right? But when KD come up, hey, we got to hit him on this one. So I got to give it to Kevin Durant. He had a Chris Paul type of game, and I say that with all due respect. He is the most lethal scorer on the planet, so I can't argue that. And he led his team, and I say that because he led his team to victory. He willed his team to victory. And so he did that yesterday, something that Chris Paul has been doing, all season, and sweeping, the Denver Nuggets. So I got to give much credit to KD. And as you all know, that's the team that we both picked to win it all. Of course, we saw them having a healthy James Harden. We saw them having a lethal Kyrie. And then the coaching staff has been tremendous, in getting that team ready, to dominate the whole Eastern Conference. But again, the dream matchup for me has always been the Phoenix Suns and the Brooklyn Nets. So I expect them to win. In fact, and I'm gonna say this: the series should be over. The series should have been over last night, right? If Bruce Brown would have realized, Dallas, you should have called. Is his name Bruce Brown?
Bruce Brown.
If he'd have realized that man that's on his team is the most lethal scorer in the game, he would not have been trying to drive the ball to the bucket with 8 seconds left. In I think it was game 2 or 3, one of them games back. So yeah, the series should have been over. It should have been a 4-1 gentleman's sweep. But nonetheless, we get more basketball, so I can't be mad at that. Yeah, KD is the man. He's the most lethal scorer in the NBA. He is unstoppable, and there's nothing anybody can do about it.
I like what you said, the Chris Paul comparison, because, if you were looking at the highlight, he's snaking the screen. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And in your voice, he's snaking the screen like he Chris Paul. He's
snaking the screen and getting into. And I only use the Chris Paul reference. I don't want anybody to mix it up and be thinking that Chris Paul is the most lethal scorer on the planet. What I said was KD knew he had to will his team to victory. He had to run the point. He had to, stick the toughest man. He had to get the rebound. He had to, commit the foul. He had to play 48 minutes, right? And my wife came in and I guess she was watching or she was just checking stats. She was like, he scored a point per minute. I'm like, he scored a little bit more than a point per minute. He should have had 50. He should have had 50. He missed that free throw, down the stretch, but he's the man. And I only used the Chris Paul reference because he did what was necessary to get his team to victory. Right? I'm not really into the stats. The only stat I want to know is, did they win? And he realized that in order for my team to win, I got to play every minute. Right? I got to take most of the shots. I got to take the free throws down the stretch, and I got to rebound. I got to do everything that I can do. He had block shots too, right?
Did it, man?
Yeah. He played a complete game, and that's a basketball player, right? That's a basketball player, and I have nothing but major respect for guys that play the complete game. So I give it up to him. And I only throw the Chris Paul in there because he got slighted behind your boy for first team, all NBA.
Mm. Who's first team over Chris Paul? Steph?
Steph, yep.
Okay.
Yep. Luka, Joker, and Giannis.
Okay. Oh, no Durant?
They had a lot of
Did I miss somebody?
No Durant?
Steph, Luka, Joker, Giannis. I think Durant. You might be right.
I'm like, man.
Yeah. No. Kawhi was in there.
Kawhi over Durant. That's strong. Anybody over Durant is strong.
Yeah.
Oh, the NBA might be in trouble. It might be a couple more 40-point games just for a statement, to make a statement.
Yeah. Shout out to my boy, man. That boy cooking up marvelous stuff in the kitchen. What up, Law Cannon? Hey, if y'all want good food, yeah, Law on here. I saw him.
Oh yeah, what's up, Law? That's my boy. I need you to cook birthday, man.
Yeah. See money. Hey, like I say, see money. We moving on. We ain't got to shimmy. We ain't got to beat our chest. We ain't got to do none of that. Right? They just waiting. And I would say, based on what's going on in the other series, that I think Phoenix would be favored now to come out the West. And all things are pointed in their favor because I feel like that LA Utah series is gonna go 7 games. It can go 7 games. I'll say that.
Me and Dallas were talking about this a while ago, and he said that he thinks Kevin Durant is the best person to ever pick up a basketball. And when I heard that, I was like, Dallas, no, you're crazy. He's not even, he's good, but he's not that good. So Dallas said it. Yesterday after the game, Kevin Durant said, I'm Kevin Durant. Like, you know who I am. You know how I can perform. Even that to me is like, okay, you're just cocky. But I'm about to show this video of Giannis saying it. And once the other big players can acknowledge that you are the best out here, I feel like that's the moment when it's like, okay, it's officially validated. So let me pull this up really quick.
Just keep making it tough. Obviously, one of the best scorers to ever play the game. It's tough. It's tough. Like he's the best. He's the best player in the world right now, and we gotta.
That's what Dallas said. Now I think it's kind of written in concrete.
Yeah, but we got all these other people names up in and we talked about this in the beginning, the MVP candidates, right? We talked about the Steph, we talked about Luka, we talked about Embiid, but I remember saying the real MVPs are going to be what? Playing for a championship. And we talked about it. I said, you mentioned it, Dallas. I said, I feel like James Harden was playing MVP caliber basketball. KD is always MVP, right? And Chris Paul, and we have to figure out who was going to come out of that series between Chris Paul and LeBron James. But other than that, I didn't really see anybody that stood head and shoulders above anybody else as saying they were the best player in the league. Obviously, Joker had a great season, and that's not to be denied. He was, almost averaging a triple double, towards the end of the season. So I can agree that he was the most valuable player, let's say, in the regular season. But real MVPs, we know, show up where? In the playoffs, right? And that man is the best player on the planet right now. Because guess what? Anybody else at the crib. So if he's the best player in the playoffs, he's the best man on the planet.
And then my thing about Kevin Durant is this. and he's not in the MVP conversation because he in cruise control all year. He Duke can score 40 every night, easy, with his eyes closed, and he just cruise control, and he know when it's time, give me the ball, and every team know, give me the ball, because post up, shoot the three, mid range, hit the rim, make his free throws, and others.
Yeah, you may like dominate the fourth quarter.
Dominate the fourth quarter. What, fourth yesterday? Yeah, like
again, dominating the fourth quarter. That reminds me of somebody, man. That they shooting 100%. You know what I'm saying? In the fourth quarter, they shoot 70%,
82% in the last 3 games in the fourth quarter for sure.
Yeah, 100% from the free throw line. You know what I'm saying? 70%
turnovers. I think in the last 3 games.
Zero turnovers. 70% from the man can do no more than almost perfect, right? And so I put those 2 guys up as, you know, my 2 most valuable players in the league. But again, you know, right now. But again, I favorite my boy Chris Paul. Hey, who's your father?
That was me yesterday. I had 10,000 on them people, and I had everybody bet all their money on them people. I had 100-something people bet all their money on the Nets, and the Nets team total over 111.
Mm-hmm.
They was down 20 points. Fuckers was sweating their ass off. I know that much.
Yeah.
Man, I had 10 bands on them, but I feel like, man, I see Kevin Durant. That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, you should. He made you some money yesterday.
Man, for sure.
Hey, money. What you call him? What they call him? Easy what?
Easy money sniper. Easy money sniper.
Easy money. You can put your money on him, man. He gonna make you some money.
He gonna make you them Benjis, them blue Benjis.
Okay. So now as we start to ease off of the KD wagon, there are 2 games tonight that we're going to talk about. But really quick, before that, I feel like we should talk about some of the injuries that are happening in the NBA, just because it seems as if almost every single series, one of the all-stars, one of the biggest names, is either out for COVID or an ankle injury or a knee injury. It's a lot going on. So are there any injuries specifically that you guys want to talk about?
Go ahead, Coach Parker.
Yeah, I got the call that I was at lunch and brunch with Nick and my boy D, and I got a call. I didn't want to eat when Kyrie went down, and my boy called me. He's like, "Man, it looked ugly." So we sitting there watching it, and you know, it pained my gut because I hate those type of injuries. Right? They're not injuries where you feel like you know it was meant to happen. It's just a freak injury. But I think Kyrie, of all the people, I think he's going to be back. I think he needs maybe a couple games, knowing how his body is and the diet, nutrition, and the training that he goes through. I think Kyrie will be ready to go. If it goes 7 games, I think Kyrie will be ready to go in Game 7. And so it's a low ankle sprain, I think, since it turned out. And so with a low ankle sprain, you can wrap that boy up real tight. You can get treatment, you know, and you might even get a little extra shot, you know, to kind of deal with the pain. So I think Kyrie will be ready. Chris Paul, as someone mentioned, D was saying he's in the COVID protocol, but that's okay because honestly, and someone else said it, if it goes 7 games, Chris Paul probably won't miss a game, right? And so I feel like the Utah LA series is going to go 7 games just because it's been a back and forth season. Obviously, I think Utah is going to get it tonight with Kawhi, you know, being out, and that's another injury. You know, and that's huge. You know, I think LA was surging, but when Kawhi goes down, there's really no chance, in my opinion, for the Clippers to beat Utah. So I would favor Utah tonight and favor Utah in the series. So those 3 injuries, of course, Harden, I think, came back. You got to give Harden. You got to stand up and salute that man because he's playing for his team. He's not playing for stats. And he said that early on in the playoffs. And he showed a lot of gut, right? He showed a lot of heart. He showed a lot of grit. And so I got to salute Harden, who's playing through. And I've had that injury. You know, that's a real difficult injury to play through. But he's playing through it. He's soldiering through. And so, man, I salute the brother. Yeah, someone mentioned Embiid. Yeah, what you think about Embiid, Dallas?
I mean, Embiid was bogus for the other night. I mean, of course, y'all know. I think the host. I said the host would give him a run for their money, but I mean, he can't blow that layup at the end of that game. You can't go 0 for 12 in the second half. I don't care how hurt you are. If you that hurt that you're gonna go 0 for 12, you need to sit down. Like it was no. NBA All-Stars missed a combined of 19 NBA games this regular season. Like, that's the highest number in the history of the NBA. I don't know if it was due to the season coming back so fast and the condensed schedule. I don't know what it was, but, I mean, it's been a lot more injuries this year. I mean, of course, COVID, too. A lot of players missed due to COVID as well. But that Kawhi injury is I think that's the single-handedly biggest impact on the rest of the playoffs. Because the Clippers were going to come out the West, and the Clippers was the team that would have gave the Nets a run for their finals out of all the teams. No Kawhi, they're not getting past that Donovan Mitchell team without Kawhi Leonard because the Clippers have to play small ball against them, and the small ball lineup goes from like if you want to rate it to 100, small ball lineup is a 97 rated small ball lineup. You take Kawhi out, that small ball lineup go to like a 77. You lose 20 to 25 points because Kawhi Leonard can block shots, rebound, box out, score the ball. He can defend the bigger guys as well. Now, I don't know what Coach Lue is going to do tonight. Because do you still play small ball without your best piece to the small ball, or do you go big and get killed now? But I think he has. Matter of fact, I'm getting too far into that. We're gonna talk about that game later. But about the other injuries, man, Kyrie got to get back. Hopefully Harden can move a little bit better. I felt like it was at times in that game yesterday. I feel like they better off with Harden being on the bench. Like I throw Bruce Brown out there. But I mean it worked out. That Harden did not look good at all. He didn't look like he should be out there. The injuries are crazy. It's part of the game. That's why we watch the game. That's why we play all the games. Anything can happen, anybody can win. So I'm looking forward to these games tonight.
I feel like we can kind of use this as a segue into the next game. We're going to talk about the Hawks versus 76ers, but Trae Young is listed as a game-time decision. So that could be another injury. How do you think that's going to affect this series? Go ahead, Dallas.
No, I was going to say the game just started. I think he's playing.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't have expected Trae Young to miss. He had been playing through that injury throughout. He just mentioned it to the training staff, so I think they just had to list it because that's an issue that they had to tend to. But no, I never doubted for a second that Trae Young, wasn't going to play. And I think the injury that Trae Young has doesn't hamper him too much. And I say that because that's not an injury that just happened. He's been playing through that for some time, and you can get treatment on that. And you can get it to feel pretty good. I have a shoulder injury myself. I can get it to feel pretty good for a couple hours. Then when you get home, it'll tighten back up, and you'll have some issues, maybe sleeping or moving around or what have you. But yeah, I think Trae Young will be okay tonight.
Do you want to give your players for that game?
I say it's Embiid versus Capella because if you have an Embiid that's less than 70%. Then now you have a Capella and Embiid matchup that's pretty, even across the board. So I'll be interested to see how Embiid is moving, in the first and second quarters. But if Embiid gets back to just playing on the block, stop trying to dance or stop trying to fade away and kind of use his size, his strength, his girth, I think he comes back and he makes a statement and he lets everybody know that he's still, one of the most dominant, if not the most dominant big man, in the league. And even on a bum knee, even on, playing through pain, he still can dominate. He has that skill, he has that size, that strength, and that ability, as you see, to kind of have his way against Capella. Yeah, I think Philly wins this one in typical Embiid fashion. Back to the basket, bully ball, getting to the foul line. Because honestly, in the playoffs, that's where most of a good percentage of his points should come from. Playing strong in the post and playing through bodies.
So considering that Trae Young was a game time decision, Joel was also a game time decision. Dallas, do you think that them being somewhat iffy, not really at 100, will affect the outcome of tonight's game?
Man, yeah, of course it's the outcome of the game just because, players not 100%, but at the same time, you got to remember, it's NBA playoffs. It's the end of the season. Nobody on any team is 100% except for the people that don't play. They probably not even 100% because they got to practice still. So everybody fighting through injuries. Everybody got something wrong with them. This is a rigorous season. The NBA is a long game, playing 48 minutes on hardwood floor, playing your heart out at this point. I think that the Embiid injury has more of an effect on the game because he has the Trae Young. I don't want to say Embiid has a bigger effect on his team, but Trae Young can still be effective without scoring.
That's right.
Embiid has to score for Philadelphia to be successful. If Embiid is not scoring, Philadelphia is not successful. Philadelphia will not make it out the series if Embiid cannot score the ball and dominate his one-on-one matchup with Capella. If Embiid does not dominate that matchup, the Philadelphia 76ers are going home, point blank, period, because Ben Simmons cannot score the ball. And then down the stretch of those games, like I've been preaching all playoffs, you cannot win an NBA championship if your best players cannot make free throws down the stretch of the game. Period. It's not happening.
Dallas, you went mute.
I know. All of Atlanta's players down the stretch of the game can make free throws.
Your sound went out again. Dallas, we can't hear you. No.
Yeah, but to Dallas's point, I really agree that Trae Young can be effective while playing through a shoulder injury, just because the type of game he plays. I still think Embiid can dominate, in the post. We forget Embiid is not just a physical specimen, but he has supreme footwork, right? And he can kind of take a page out of Joker's book and say, hey, I don't have to tear the rim off. All I can do is bang them all the way down to the right up under the basket, and I can just go up and slap the glass. You notice how Joker dominates without being, super athletic. And I think Embiid has to kind of put some of the athleticism, aside and go back to playing, back to the basket skill versus skill and size versus the length of Capella. So I still give Embiid an advantage. 70% Embiid, I still think dominates 100% Capella.
So someone,
yeah, we can hear you.
Yes. You want to finish what you were saying?
I was just saying that, yeah, Embiid, Philly can't win if Embiid doesn't dominate his matchup, but Atlanta can win if Trae Young has 15 points. Atlanta can win because they got all those other players that can score the ball. Philly got Tobias that can get his own shot. Seth can get his own shot, and Milton, when he's hot, can get his own shot. It's too many other players that can really score, light the ball up, and Lou Williams, Bogdanovich, Gallinari, Herter can even get hot. John Collins can create, because Trae Young can create so well for everyone else. It makes everybody else better. Ben Simmons isn't that type of creator. Like Embiid isn't that type of creator if he cannot command a double team. That's why Philly has been good all year, because Embiid has commanded a double team.
Yeah.
Where Philadelphia can get open threes.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons can get open cuts to the basket where he can just dunk the ball. All that type of stuff. Yeah, without that, it's over with. So,
well, I'll say this: it'll be without Embiid. I think they're evenly matched teams, and then from that point, I think it comes down to coaching. And you probably have two of the best adjustment coaches in the league, in Doc Rivers and Nate McMillan. And from there, for me, it's a coin toss, right? Doc, I have confidence in. I got confidence in Nate McMillan. So from there, I think it's going to come down to the bench. And I think what you're saying is true, Dallas. I think Atlanta has the more seasoned, the veteran bench, the bench that kind of comes off and gives you a little bit more of a punch. So, it's going to be interesting to see how it all unfolds. And to your point, I fully agree. Embiid is the difference maker. If Embiid is there, they win. They probably wrap it up in 6 or 7 games. If Embiid is not there, it's going to go 7, and you could toss a coin.
So I'm looking throughout the comment section now, They were talking about how LeBron went on a rant saying that he didn't like how it was such a short off season, and then you got to come back and be as intense and all this other stuff. But to his point, it does seem as though it kind of makes sense considering that the Lakers didn't make it past the first round, the Heat didn't make it past the first round, and they were both so far in the finals. What do you all think of that?
He a crybaby.
Yeah, I wouldn't make excuses at this point. You don't make excuses after the fact, or you don't, and that might be true, but Kevin Durant is coming off a torn Achilles, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's back to being, the best player, on the planet. Everybody's dealing with injuries. So his point is valid. But this is what everybody signed up for. You signed up to play the game, right? And part of the game is injuries. That's like, getting to a football player saying, man, we shouldn't play 17 games. We should continue to play 16 games because that extra game is going to put a lot of pressure on our bodies. That's true. The whole game puts pressure on your bodies. But this is what you sign up for. And if this is what the league is going to, you got to voice those opinions through the players union, starting with Chris Paul, right? But they agreed to a shortened season, did they not? Yeah, they agreed to a shortened season. So they gave some, and that's just about managing, your I think your time on the floor, and that's something you got to address with the coaching staff and the training staff. If you feel like it's putting a strain on your body, you got to take that to the coaching staff and the training staff, not at the end, after things start to break down. And in the case of Anthony Davis, we talked about this. We just felt like his regimen has not adequately prepared him to deal with the grind of the NBA. And for me, I point to diet, nutrition. I point to his trainers, getting him ready, getting his body ready. When you look at him, he coming out, he's bubble wrapped from the tip, first game to the end of the season, he's bubble wrapped. So when you bubble wrap, it kind of sends a message that maybe you weren't ready in the first place, right? And I'm not hating on AD. Again, I love AD, but what's real is real.
Yeah, I mean, like they said, if he was still playing, LeBron wouldn't have said that. I mean, LeBron, a drama queen. I mean, I'm starting to dislike LeBron less and less each day. Like, just as a man, like, come on, bro, you lost. The teams that's left are better than your team. That's what happened. That's why you at the crib. Phoenix was better than you. Utah's better than you. Clippers are better than you. That's why you at the crib. The Nets are better than you.
Mm-hmm.
Philly is better than you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everybody, Milwaukee's better than you. Every team left, maybe the only team they probably would have beat was Atlanta. Every team left is better than them.
And if I could jump into that, they finished as the 7th seed. So the record speaks for itself. And Dallas and I talked about it. I said what I really want to see and what I really feel like is going to happen is that the 1 and the 2 seeds are going to be playing each other in the conference finals. And no one is going to be able to say that it was a fluke or this is a COVID year and Ron and nobody was healthy. Everybody had to deal with the same amount of games, the same type of stress and strain on their bodies. And so you got the top 2 teams, in my opinion, are going to make it out and make it to the conference finals. And that's justice. That's what they fought for. They fought for home court advantage. They fought to be, have the better records or the best records so that they can get a higher seed, move on and play for an NBA championship. What I'm excited about is that this year we're going to see a new NBA champion. And with that comes a lot of grit, determination, and heart. And you're probably going to see some tears because somebody's going to get it that they have never had it before. And that's exciting for me.
Perfect. So let's move on to the game tonight. We have the Clippers versus Jazz. Who wants to give their key players?
Yeah, I'm gonna jump right in because I think Dallas kind of started up, and I think everybody gotta move up and get promoted tonight, right? And when I say promoted, playoff Rondo got to come. He got to be playoff Rondo. Rondo got to come off that bench. I feel like Rondo can be the difference. I don't think if they have any chance, I think it's going to have to be Rondo. Reggie Jackson got to step up and he got to play Paul George. Paul George got to step up and he got to play Kawhi. And so when you go down to Kawhi, you got to figure out who is that person that can step in and play playoff style basketball. And for me, I really think it's Rondo, right? He can run the point, put Reggie Jackson at the 2. Reggie, talk to Paul PG about what he sees, what he's seen in the first few games in this, right? And then if I'm Paul George, I'm talking to Kawhi, right? Hey, how you playing at the 3 position? I'll put PG at the 3. And then you still got Morris and Batum, slotted, as they would be. And then everybody else plays because I think Rondo got a couple DMPs, maybe a game or two back. If he did play, he didn't play significant minutes, right? And so I think that would be the best game plan going forward, inserting Rondo into the starting lineup and then seeing if Rondo can give you 35 minutes, 32 minutes, 33 minutes, something like that. On the other side, the Jazz is just going to be the Jazz, right? They're without Mike Conley Jr., who is the settled hand. So everything goes through Donovan Mitchell, right? I said give Donovan, put 30 next to his name again, right? Because he's going to have the ball in his hand. He's going to be able to create multiple shot opportunities for himself. And hopefully as the defense collapses, he's going to be able to get those shooters open. I think one of the things that he benefits from is having Bogdanovich and Ingles, right? One on the left, one on the right. And so now guess what? You're not going to get a whole lot of sagging. They don't really have a shot blocker. So Mitchell can attack, as often as he wants without having to, get into the lane and adjust, right? And so I think the game is Mitchell's game to play. And everybody knows that. And so, I give the Jazz the edge, right? They're the same team that they've been all year, the best team in the league.
Ooh. Dallas, what do you say?
I think Rondo has the DNPs because Donovan Mitchell is playing point guard for the Utah Jazz. That's why. That's I think that's why he can't. I love Rondo. That's my guy. He can't fuck with dude. He can't mess with him at this stage. So they got to play Beverly to try to slow him down. I don't know. The Clippers is in trouble. I don't know what they do. Clippers in trouble. They going home. They going home. They can't beat these guys without them going back to Utah, missing your best player on both sides of the ball. He's like Kawhi Leonard is like the Clippers' sanity. Like he gets the sense of relief. He got the ball. A good shot is gonna go up. Like tonight, what's gonna happen? The Jazz are gonna have a lot of fast break opportunities off of long missed shots, off of bad shots, unless your boy Rondo really controls the game completely. Like that can really, like you said, Rondo can be the one that changes it. But also, I believe Morris is the one that changes the game for the Clippers. I do think the Jazz win, but Morris, Lou made the adjustment. I don't know why he always, does he not watch film or something? Like, do we have to see his team get the shit beat out of him 2 games first in order to understand what you should be doing? This is what you should have did. The same thing I said Memphis is supposed to do. You got to get Rudy Gobert away from the rim. You don't have to if he's under the rim. He's the best rim defender in the NBA and probably one of the best ever defending the rim because he has the good timing. He doesn't jump. He doesn't foul. He just puts his hands up. But when you have Morris at the 5 and he's stretching the floor, that gives you a chance. Now you have driving lanes open. And I like what he did the last couple games as well. Whenever Gobert was in, he played Morris. Whenever Favors was in, he played Zubac. And then at the rim whenever Favors was in. And Kawhi dunked on him last game. Nasty. Dunked on Zubac. Dunked on Favors. Disgusting. He's not going to try. Every time Gobert's down there, they kick it out. They want to shoot threes. That's the game. Morris had to hit 5 threes. Morris had to score 20 points tonight for the Clippers to have a chance. Paul George had to have 30. Batum had to have 15. Like, the Clippers have to make threes in order to beat the Jazz because the Jazz shot terrible last game. They shot terrible last game. They coming back to their crib knowing that they can put this team to bed, knowing that Kawhi has a sprained ACL, and knowing that they don't want the shorter the series goes, the higher chance they have of winning because the least healthy Kawhi is going to be. Jazz coming out in killer instinct mode, and they got a killer with the killer instinct. So Jazz coming out tonight. They're going to score a bunch of points. I like them team total over 111. They're going to get 111 points tonight. Not a problem. I like the Jazz first half. The Clippers might come out first quarter with a little bit of something like, man, because the Jazz might relax. But I don't know. I don't think the Jazz going to relax. They not that type of team. They too well coached. The Jazz going in for the kill. I think it's over. The Jazz going for the kill. They not that type of team. Some teams will relax knowing that the star player is gone, but not them. The coach not going to let them. Donovan not going to let them. Conley not going to let them. None of them cats. Them foreign cats, they not gonna let it happen. They know they played terrible last game. So I don't know.
Yeah, Quinn Snyder is he's intense. He wants it, right? And so when you come in that huddle with Quinn Snyder, he's telling you straight up and straight down, hey, let's get at him. You know what I'm saying? Let's take their hearts right here. I've checked out some of his huddles, and he had me want to get off my chair, right, and drop down and do 50 push-ups. Just his look, his scowl, right, his passion, his intent, you know, as a coach, and he is again he imputes that into his players. So I agree that I would favor the Jazz tonight. I think they close out. I'm hoping that the Clippers win. Right? See, money. I'm hoping, man. I'm hoping we give Chris Paul 3-4 more days to rest up. Get me to a 7th game, so that Chris Paul can come back and be ready to go. You know, game 1 in the Western Conference Finals. So, we hoping for 7 games. What's it? It's what 3-2, 2-2.
Oh no, it's 2-2.
Yeah, it's the pivotal game 5. They say the stat is the teams that win game 5 have the greatest percentage of going on and winning the series. So it's the pivotal game 5 in both series, in the Atlanta Sixers series and both the Utah LA series. But I give the Jazz the edge. It's the home court too, and I think each team that's playing at home is going to win out for the rest of the season. Right, that home court advantage. They're allowing more and more fans to come in. The intensity is starting to drum. It's starting to get higher and higher. And so it's starting to look like playoff basketball from a fan's point of view as well.
Okay. So let's switch out of playoff mode really quick, just because there was some news announced today. They said that the rookie of the year is LaMelo Ball. How do we feel about that? Or was that kind of like a duh and let's just keep moving?
Yeah, I didn't see LaMelo as a rookie of the year. I thought Anthony Edwards was, and honestly, it wasn't a clear favorite. So I'm not. This is one of those years where okay, it's LaMelo Ball. Okay, next story, right? It really doesn't mean a whole lot this year because overall, I think overall the draft class was kind of down this year, or maybe the draft class because you have so many young players coming out, they have yet to mature to be able to have an immediate impact in the game. So. It may be LaMelo this year, but down the line you might see, one of the European players make their mark in the game and come out, after 2 or 3 seasons of getting their feet solidly into the NBA. So they call it a down draft class because there's not immediate impacts, right, happening, like with a Jason Tatum or when, LeBron, Carmelo and them came out. Yeah, so LaMelo wins, okay, whatever. It really doesn't matter. I thought Anthony Edwards outplayed him, though. I thought he's a lot more explosive, and intimidating. And I would give him the edge over that. But neither one of them really, had a elite, a season, where we would consider them a clear favorite. So if LaMelo gets it, that's fine.
I mean, yeah, like you said, it's like, he won it. Okay, yeah, the fans voted for him, whatever. However, it's a popularity. Obviously, Anthony Edwards had a better season than him. He played more games. He was more consistent. I mean, LaMelo didn't do nothing when he came back. I mean, I guess was it a pity award because they knew he was hurt? Maybe, I don't know, but that sounds like a LeBron excuse.
But
the only other.
Hurt.
What'd you say?
When Zion was in the running, he was hurt majority of that season.
Yeah, but Zion missed way more games than LaMelo too, though.
Yeah, keep in mind it was Zion and Ja Morant. So that's a different argument. You know what I'm saying? We talking about 2 players that actually could take over the league in another year or 2. Zion and Ja still getting better, right? And Ja is starting to turn heads that he'll get me up out of my seat. But to Dallas's point, or maybe in a different direction from Dallas's point, they did make the playoffs. LaMelo, when he was inserted into the starting lineup, they did kind of take off a little bit. They played a lot better. And maybe that was coaching. Maybe it was the LaMelo effect. But, my pick was Edwards. And, maybe if he's in a different situation, we would be able to see what Edwards can do and what he brings to the court, right? But he can't. Edwards can't turn that situation around in Minnesota. They've been making some crazy moves since They fired Tibbs. We like, what are y'all doing? Y'all let Jimmy go. Y'all fired Tibbs. Anybody that do anything good, y'all like, no, we don't want them. You know, Derrick Rose, now get him out of here. Jimmy Butler, no, they finna lose Cat. They finna lose.
I mean, but this is the thing about that though. The Hornets made the play-in tournament. I think if the Timberwolves, if they switch conferences, I do think T-Wolves made a play-in tournament. I think the T-Wolves would have made the play-in tournament in the East.
Yeah, maybe. You know, it's that organization. The organization is still suspect from top to bottom with the moves that they're making. You know, it's like, you know, man.
Somebody in the comments, they said that they have a Chicago bias, but they think that Kendrick should have won over Ja.
Oh, that's that. Yeah. Hey, you know, Kendrick was second runner up. So I think the first runner up, he was right behind Ja.
But his comment says usage rate. I'm happy that it says that because usage rate, sure, they use him a lot of the Heat, but actual skill within that draft class, I don't think Kendrick would have won.
And D knows better than me. I would have loved to see him win, but yeah, I can't see it. Yeah, I can't see it.
That would be a highway robbery.
But the point is well made. Yeah, that boy.
K-Nunn had a great rookie year though, for sure.
Man.
He snapped himself.
Yeah, he needed a contract, $50 million. You know, 4 year, $50 million, and I feel like he's the ultimate. I think he could be like the Manu Ginobili, because one thing we know about Kendrick Nunn, dating all the way back to grammar school, and we've been watching it for years. He can put the ball in the basket on anybody, right? Anybody.
Who it is.
Yeah, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I watched him go for about 50 at the last game we had. You know, just walked in the gym. I'm like, man, he finna play. You know, it was like he couldn't miss half courts. Yeah.
I was talking about that Brainerd.
Yeah, over at Brainerd. Yeah, I watched him. Yeah, he went off, didn't
he? Yeah, he went off. And he got a dunk.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So every episode of Legal Licks Lounge, we give away a free pick. Dallas, are you ready to give your pick?
Yeah, we can give out the free pick.
One more, please.
I like tennis in the morning, Lloyd Harris. I'm going to give y'all a couple picks since we've been gone for a while. Shit, I'm going to give y'all a nice little parlay. I like the Vegas Knights tonight. I like Lloyd Harris. I like Ange Jabbar, tennis. I like the Utah Jazz team total over 110. That's one of my main plays I like. What else do I like? Vegas, Ange Jabbar, Lloyd Harris, and Utah Jazz over 109. 4-pick parlay, you can break it up in twos, so you got a higher chance of winning. I'm pretty sure it all hits. I don't know if it started already. I've been on here. I also like Jacob deGrom not to give up a run in the first inning to the Cubs and no runs in the first inning. deGrom is the best pitcher in baseball. He has a .52 ERA. Oh, and I also like the Mercury. Shit, I'm just give y'all all my picks today.
Oh, yeah.
We ain't been here in a while. I like the Mercury, too, tonight. They lost to the Sparks last time. I think they win today. So, I mean, y'all just – that's a lot of free money. You can take it how you want it.
Hey, we got a comment. Embiid, somebody say Embiid going crazy.
He got a double-double yet? That's what I need.
Yeah. Embiid going crazy. If Embiid is there, I
Bye-bye, Atlanta.
Yeah.
I mean, but see, that's what I like about Embiid, though. That's what I do like about Embiid. Like he one of them big men like Shaq be talking about. Like, man, you gotta get choked up, all that. And you ain't gotta say that to Embiid. He know what he did. He done thought about that shit for two days. He went over to
back on the court. Yeah, he couldn't wait to get back on the court. I like Embiid too. I like how he responds. Like he said it the other day. He's like, "There's no excuse." Some games you have it. Some games you get it going. Some games you don't have it. You feel like you can't buy a bucket. He said, "But there's no excuse." And I like what Embiid. He type person be like, "I'll be better. Don't worry." Yeah.
They say he's 6 for 6 in the first. So
okay.
Not too crazy, but
that's crazy.
I'm watching the game, but I would be willing to bet that he's down in that post. and he done drew a couple fouls already, I'll be willing to bet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like him. That's my boy.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get my popcorn ready for these games tonight. I'm thirsty. I definitely want to watch that Atlanta game. So, see,
You
man.
briefly over your picks for today, Dallas. What's the number if people want to get more info on Legal Bets?
702-613-7503. I'll give you $200 off if you text the number within the next hour. And give you 30-day memberships. And we're going to make a lot of money in these next 30 days. It's really about to go down. WNBA season about to pick all the way up to its peak. NBA season coming to a close. I've been killing MLB like 5-6 days straight, just destroying MLB. We got the end of the hockey season, and then the big money maker, the big bang money maker is coming up in less than a month and a half. Football. Are you ready for some football?
Football. You talking about pro or college?
Both. Anything football, you can make $1 million on, and I guarantee I'll make $1 million off of football, and I'm gonna let everybody track it from week 1 on to week 17, and y'all will be able to track it. I'm gonna share the information with everybody, so y'all will see the journey to $1 million. I'm gonna start with 50,000 week 1. That 50,000 is gonna grow to $1 million over the course of that 17 weeks. Probably by week 8, I have $1 million just based off of that, starting with that 50,000.
Man, let's get it.
They said Embiid is hitting 3. Okay, we need to go watch this.
Yeah, we're going to watch the game.
Bye.
Okay, perfect. So anything else before we wrap up this episode? No.
Hey, Chris Paul, get healthy.
CP3.
Yeah.
I want to see it. I'm going. Hey, I want to see Brooklyn Suns. I'm going. I'll be damn if I don't go.
Yeah, Kyrie, get healthy. I'm praying for you. Hey, he said he come from a praying family. Well, I'm praying for both of those young men, and all the honestly all the guys that have suffered from injuries. We wish no harm on anybody. But you all know those are my 2 favorite players in the league, Chris Paul and Kyrie. So I really want to see them finish out this season and compete against each other for an NBA championship.
Question for Dallas. I know you gave out a bunch of picks. Were any of those picks baseball games?
No, I'm not giving out baseball games.
No,
I'm not giving out any baseball games. You gotta be a member or buy a daily pack to get a baseball game. I pick what I give out. You don't tell me what to give out. Not you, Maya. That's how I talk to people.
All right, there we go. So this was Legal Bets. We are 15-2, hoping to go 16-2. We will see you guys tomorrow. Coach P, Dallas, thank you for joining me.
Sure.